Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 124. I'm your host, Leonard Fernandez, and I have a special guest tuning in for us, actually subbing in for us tonight with on last-minute notice. This is a special guest, Gayle, I'm going to butcher the last name again, like always, Fontenot. Did I get it right?
Perfect. Good job.
Hey!
Thank you so much for having me.
My work here is done. I can turn the show off. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So Gayle is going to sub in tonight. We originally had booked Neosho County Paranormal Investigator Janice Leahy. I can't remember what's her name now. It's Leahy, I think is how you say it. Leahy or Leahy. But she had an emergency come up, so she was kind enough to give us a recommendation of Gayle. And Gayle said, sure, I'll come on your show, which we appreciate 1,000 times.
Well,
so.
You know, down in New Orleans, we love to talk, so it's not a problem, believe me.
Excellent. Not a problem. Yeah, as you heard what she said, she's from Louisiana, which I love. I love the accent. And she says, I don't have an accent. You have the accent. So
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. It's that Midlands up there where y'all talk funny. We don't talk funny down here, no.
That's right. Exactly. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to get some things worked out here. Hopefully everybody at Cryptic Heartland Land can hear everything. So I think we're going. Oh, wait a minute. I have one of my other teammates trying to join in. 1 second here. I'm going to get him on the show. Let me see if I can get Dan going here. I apologize for the amateur hour here. 1 second. Let's see where Mr. Dan's at. He'll be up on the screen here just a second. I hope. I don't see Dan. Okay, we'll continue on until I get Dan here. We'll have him on here a second. So, Gayle, if you don't mind, can you kind of give us a little bit of rundown about your background, who you are, what you do, what special talents you have? Just kind of give us, our fans, an idea.
Well, like I said, I'm just a bayou girl, but I was raised in a family of seers and healers and psychics, which is an amazing thing, an amazing blessing, because it's so good to be able to help other people. I started investigating in college, which was about 30 plus years ago, so I've got quite a few investigations under my belt. I've been asked to help people connect with their loved ones that have passed over, and that is kind of my specialty. Is I play messenger. You know, it's a gift to be able to let somebody know that their family on the other side is okay, they're fine, and they're at peace. And that's the major thing. I love investigating big, buildings and all this kind of stuff. That's all fun and games. But when you can help a family know that their loved one is at peace, it makes all the difference. It makes it just worthwhile to do it. I started about 4 years old. I remember seeing my first little boy and little girl playing on a property out behind my house. And when I asked my grandmother who they were, she's like, "Baby, there's no children here."
Huh.
That's when I said, okay, a few more years. We went and moved. Of course, every house in New Orleans is haunted. And we moved into one that my father had to move us out of in the middle of the night because it was so bad.
Oh, my.
And after that, I got a real respect for what can happen.
Oh, wow. Do you care to talk about what the house, what it had to offer? What was so bad about it, if you don't mind?
Yeah, big, beautiful house, old plantation house. But my room, I was 11, 12-ish at the time, somewhere around there. My room was on the opposite side of the house than everybody else's, and the TV would come on at night. You would hear people talking. My bed would bounce up and down. Before it was over, we were all living in one room of that house. We all slept in the same room. Dishes were flying. Again, you just have this there was one room we couldn't even use. We tried to use it for a closet, and we couldn't use it. So I don't know what happened in that house to cause something like that, if somebody had invited something in, or it was just with the land. But it got so bad that even today, the house is still standing today, but it's a dentist's office. Nobody stays in there at night. And I think one day, I still haven't, like I said, that was 4 years ago, and I still haven't had the nerve to walk back in there yet. And that's one of the things I do want to do. You need to face those fears. And it helps you grow. You know, it keeps you from being stuck in one spot. And that started it all.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and then, so who recognized it first? Was it you guys, or is it you as an individual recognized the house was haunted, or did your parents recognize it?
It was all of us. You know, it was all of us. And my dad's very sensitive to things, and he said, we got to go.
Wow.
You know, when we woke up in the middle of the night and dishes were literally flying across the back of the room in the kitchen, we were in danger. You know, it was time to get out.
Wow. Now, to me, in this day and age, yeah, as a kid, I would have been terrified myself, but now that I'm older, yeah, it's like, now I want to go check this out. I was like, where's this place again?
I don't want to see this anymore. I've been, you know, lots and lots of stories, and I think one of the reasons that I connect so well with those on the other side, if you have a minute, I do have a story about that. A friend and I, we thought we were tough guys. We ran away from home at about 15 years old. You know, New Orleans 40-something years ago was different than New Orleans today.
Oh, I
so
bet.
we ran away. We're going to get on the bus and go to Alabama to visit my cousins. We're walking through what is now one of the worst areas of New Orleans, bless their hearts. And we were walking by, and I was looking, there's this guy, this tall, thin man, leaning against the cemetery wall on the outside. You know how when the cowboy stands up and they lean against the wall, and then they put their foot, you know, propped up? That's what this fellow was doing. And we were walking by, and he says, what are you girls doing down here? Oh, we're going to Alabama, you know, blah, blah, blah. He waited for us, waited for the bus to get there, put us on the bus. I went to tell him thank you, and he was gone.
What?
Now,
Wow.
3 of us saw this man.
Oh, my goodness.
He has been my protector since then. I think he was Papa Leg Day. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but he's the gatekeeper.
Yep.
You know, the one that lets you go back and forth. And I think the reason I get the messages I do is because I kind of owe him something. He probably saved our lives that night. And that's where it started with the messages, you know, for people that are on the other side.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, Papa Legba, if anybody's ever seen American Horror Story, they did a decent job of representing him. They put him on one of the episodes back during the Coven series, and they touched upon, you know, the whole voodoo aspect and everything like that, what he was about, and they also talked about Madame Laurie. I can't say her name. Is it
Laurie?
Laurie, there you go. I knew I was going to butcher that too. So.
Laurie, and then oh Lord, I can't think of the priestess name. It's Marie Laveau.
Marie Laveau, yeah. That's what I always get those two twisted, tongue-tied. Yeah. Yeah.
She was the voodoo goddess. Madame Laurie was the one that owned the building that she did all the torture of her slaves and stuff in.
Right. That's right. Yep. I remember that now.
The evil woman.
Yeah. One of our viewers had a question for you, Gayle. They're asking, and I can't pronounce the name. It's Carlito. Sorry. It says Carlito All In is their name. It says, I feel... Do you know who this person is?
No.
Okay, good. They said, I feel like someone has put bad on my family and myself. What do you think I should do?
Cleanse your house. get your intentions correct. Somebody can't hurt you unless you let them. If you don't believe it can happen, it's not going to happen. But what I use is if I have problems or anything like that, I take some blessed salt, I throw it around, in the corners. I leave a window open for everything to go out. A lot of people use sage to clean out. If it's a curse, something evil put on you for a reason, then that's going to come back on whomever did that to you.
Right.
You don't do things like that to people. But as far as if you have clergymen, or you have an elder or somebody that can help you cleanse your house, that would be my suggestion. Of course, you can always go somewhere, get in New Orleans. We can get gree bags. You can get tokens and stuff like that that'll help you cleanse your house, too. I make a few house blessing little things, like when somebody moves in a new house or something. But if somebody's trying to be mean to you, the best thing you can do is ignore it, because it will go away. If you don't give it power, it will go away.
Let's see here. They said they've, let me see here. I do it. They do that. It's just not, I do that just for myself. So I'm trying to read what it says here. But I do. It's just that for myself, I'm just not the same. So I think this is having a lasting effect on this individual. Like they've.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But you have to put one foot in front of the other, no matter what, and walk through it. You got to walk through that fire to come out on the other end. And the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, of course, is to try to make something evil happen to the person that did it to you. That's just going to cause a big ball of energy to manifest in ways you just don't want to know about.
Yeah, definitely.
That's nothing to play with. Everybody laughs, the voodoo this, the voodoo that. It's nothing to play with. It's something to be respected.
Definitely. I'm making sure I'm reading this right. They said their life is falling apart. They need help. Carlita, can you tell us where you're at by chance? Maybe we can, depending where you're located, maybe we can have somebody come out and help you. I'm waiting for the answer here. Sorry, they're on our chat line here.
No. I just hate that somebody's doing that to another person. That aggravates the daylights out of me.
And it stretches clear out. When people think voodoo curses and curses in general, they always assume it's down south in Louisiana, that area. We've dealt with cases even here, local up in. We're based out of Wichita, Kansas, and we actually had a case where a individual was being tormented by a curse, as such as that, and what it ended up being was her ex-husband was dating a Creole woman from Louisiana, so we think that's where the curse was coming. They were doing the whole, going to the trash can and taking her hair and stuff like that and making voodoo dolls and putting a hex on her basically, and it was a very trying case, but we were able to help her to a degree. She ended up moving away from that area and away from her ex-husband, and
sometimes you have to.
Yeah, and I think that helped break a little bit of that. I haven't talked to her in a little while. I need to reach out to her again and see if everything's okay. But yeah, some of the stuff we encountered was pretty interesting. We got, things you see in movies, we were encountering everything, including, things such as ectoplasm on the walls, which that was the first time I ever actually had witnessed it. It was like dripping from the walls, basically. It looked like a faucet was turned on and was just leaking slowly down the wall. And when you touch it, it was kind of gelatin-like, and it was just unusual. So it was.
I've never seen that.
That's the only time I've seen it in a case, to my knowledge. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the spirits in the house or if it had to do with the curse itself, but it's very bizarre. Definitely.
Yeah, people's intentions can get you in a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
They don't realize just by saying, "Oh, I wish you'd fall and break your leg," that's putting that out there to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want this guy to get hurt. You have to be so careful.
Definitely. Yeah, it's not all. Everybody sees what's on TV. How the entertainment industry has glorified the paranormal field, but a lot of it's not something you want to play with. I mean, yes, it's an entertainment factor on TV, but in real life, there's some things you shouldn't dabble in or even attempt to interact.
The heck alone.
Yes, it can have a lasting effect on you. Our viewer says they're from Peoria, Arizona. Let me see what else we're saying here. It's been going on. It's just getting worse. I tell you what, Carlito, I can reach out to you after the show if you don't mind. We can have. I know some people down in that area. I can have them come out and maybe help you and assist you further. Because it's going to be, it's not going to be.
You just need to believe it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that in your heart, and that will give you the first step to clearing everything up.
Definitely. And it's not going to be an easy overnight, hey, I believe, and it's gone. No. It's going to take some time and some strength. And like Gayle was mentioning, if you have to, have somebody come in and sage for you if you don't feel comfortable enough, or get blessed medallions and things of that nature, the St. Michael, medallion.
Absolutely.
There's things you can do that can help detour this thing, but you have to do it the right way. You have to be strong in your convictions in yourself, and you want to make sure you don't, anger the spirit by doing something it doesn't like.
That's it. You can't do it halfway.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to do it from beginning to end, and sometimes it takes more than one time. You just
mm-hmm.
don't know until you can really understand what kind of energy you're dealing with. That will lead you to figure out what you need to do and what practices, for lack of a better word, what you need to do to cleanse your area and cleanse your soul of all that. But you've got to believe you can do it. That's the main thing.
Definitely. Let me see what else. Yep. Yeah, Carlito, I'll get a hold of you. Definitely. They said please get a hold of me.
Good.
Okay. Let's see here. No one said my mother died in suicide, and I know she wanted to do it. As far as probably the suicide, I'm assuming. But I have always wondered if she told somebody prior or if someone helped her, if I knew it would help solve so much.
I think she was just tormented.
You think
I don't think she had any help. I think she was just so tormented, she just didn't know what to do. And that's just heartbreaking.
It is.
Because people think they don't have any way out other than that. And there's always a way out. You just got to take that 30 seconds and change your thinking.
I agree, yeah.
I have lost a niece a few years ago to suicide, and you always wonder, what could I have done anything different? But I don't think there was anything that the daughter or whomever it was could have done. I think this lady had already made up her mind. I want to say that she just kind of went to sleep.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if there's sometimes they give you signs, sometimes they don't. But if somebody ever, makes a comment about something, make sure you hear their words. We don't always hear it. That's the hardest thing. They're reaching out for help, wanting
Absolutely.
to let us know. It's a cry for help kind of a thing. And,
don't be afraid to make them mad.
Yeah.
Because when they get mad, it gives them another avenue to go down, and it kind of takes the mind off of that. I'd rather you be mad at me, walking the earth, than love me from 6 feet under.
Yes.
And if I got to make you mad to keep you on this planet, that's what I'm going to do. They call me the power BITCH for a reason.
That's right.
Hey guys, this is Dan. Can you guys hear me by chance?
Hey Dan, we hear you loud and clear, sir. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad, man. This Zoom doesn't like me at times. Hey Gayle, how you doing?
Good to meet you, Dan.
Good to meet you as well. Sorry about that. I've been trying to buzz in here for the last 10 minutes, but this thing is not my friend.
But no,
and I don't know when to shut up.
So. No.
No, you're good.
You're not supposed to. That's why we have you on, so you can help carry us. Kidding, of course.
It's a conspiracy. I see what's going. I'm going to get Candace.
Our friend who's talking about her mom committing suicide, the reason she thinks somebody helped her do it was because she said she couldn't. The way it happened, it was on her own. They said they put herself in a car in a garage. I wonder if they mean in the trunk, maybe, or if they mean.
I bet you they put the exhaust thing, piece of pipe, and put the exhaust back into the window. You know how they do with the carbon monoxide.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
That's just what I see in my mind. I don't know why, but like I said, it felt like to me she just went to sleep. You know, so she probably just breathed in enough of that, but I don't think she had any help.
Yeah. Now, if it was like you said with the hose inside the car, whether it be through the window or through the back seat with the windows rolled up, it's possibility that it was intentional. Unfortunately, she may have wanted to, for whatever reason, leave the earth.
There wasn't any foul play involved. I don't think at all. It's just hard to breaks my heart.
It does, definitely, and we've all known somebody or been touched by that. Unfortunately, it's just like COVID. Unfortunately, we know there's somebody who has it or is being affected by it. So right now, and suicide's another thing. It's just like I said, if you're feeling down or if you whatever you think you're not alone. You're never alone. Just remember that. We're here. Anybody, strangers here to help you. We'll help you.
Absolutely. It's just, like I said, it breaks my heart, when people think that's the only out that they have.
Exactly. Another one of our viewers says, my brother-in-law was murdered. I'm not sure what happened, but I feel like it might have been a drug deal or something in that nature. Do you have any kind of feelings about that, Gayle? She didn't really ask that question, but do you have anything you can see on that by chance?
I think she's right. I think it was a drug deal gone bad. I think the guy was set up, actually. They knew what they were doing. It wasn't coincidental that, I just happened to be on a drug deal, and got killed. They set him up. They were waiting on him. They were absolutely waiting on him.
That's terrible.
Bless heart, I know. I love my job, but it just hurts to have to tell people bad things sometimes, but you can't not tell. You can't. You have to say what you see and what you feel, because if you don't, you're not doing anybody any good.
Right.
Whether it hurts or not, I'm sorry that it does, and if there's an easier way to say it, I'd be glad to. But sometimes just the plain truth is what comes out.
The individual from earlier about the suicide, the reason she thought it was a little bit troublesome was because she said that her mom was disabled. But she did say you were right. You were correct on how she went, unfortunately. And she said, thank you very much.
Bless your heart, darling. Bless your heart. That's one of the hardest things to face is the death of your mother. I lost my mother when she was very young, and it's something that you just never get over. You learn to live with it, but you don't learn to forget it, know. But this lady, for some reason, I'm seeing a little pink, like a bud vase with a couple little white roses in it. I don't know if that's something that she does for her mom or that she did before her mom passed, and her mom's letting her know that she's okay. But it's not a big picture. It's like a little creamer kind of picture, with the flowers sticking out of her. I wonder if that's something that she could validate for us.
I'm reading the chat. I'll see if she comments here. She's been commenting pretty good here. Let's see here. Sorry.
White roses are a sign of peace and tranquility. So maybe she's trying to let her know that she's okay.
Just waiting. Oh,
The name Sylvia. I don't know who Sylvia is.
I'm waiting for her to. Kelly, if you're listening, go ahead and if you can respond to Gayle's question about the white vase with. You said it was pink roses or white roses? I'm sorry.
It's like a pink and white vase with white roses.
Oh, okay.
In it.
Okay.
Just a couple, a couple of three. Not anything elaborate. Just something that's how I see things. I get pictures, and usually if it's white roses, that means that, they're at peace where they're at. And evidently, she was tormented before she did this, and she didn't want to be a burden to other people.
Gotcha.
I think that's where she was coming off. Is she did not want to be a burden to her family.
And Kelly just answered. She said, "Oh my." She said, "Yes, that's correct." So.
Which one? The flowers?
The flowers. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's her letting that is her mother letting her know that she is at peace.
Very good. Good to know.
That's the good part of the job right there. When you can help a person. I love doing big investigations. I love Waverly. I love Trans-Allegheny. That's all fun and games. But when you can help somebody know that their loved one's okay, that's where you get your satisfaction.
Definitely. And that's kind of what I tell our viewers at home, or even our own teams. I'm like, yes, it's fun to be in a notoriously haunted place, or whatever. But it's at the end of the day, if we're helping a client, that's what matters most. We're here to help them because they've reached out to us. They're obviously terrified, or they want to have answers, and we try to help them as much as we can. Get those answers, get the closure.
That's what it's all about, man. Helping other people.
Definitely. Kelly said, yes, I have a vase that I received after her death. So very good.
That would be the one.
Yep.
That would be the one. Bless your heart.
There's another question here. I'm trying to follow because the chats are going real fast. The one about the drug deal gone bad with the murder. They want to know. She wants to know, is her brother-in-law okay in the afterlife?
Oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't his fault. He had a little trouble crossing over before he left, just because of the way he left things. He didn't want his family to think that he's getting in a mess over a drug deal, but I think it's something the family already knew, that he played in that field. And but he's okay. It just took him a little while. He was scared to cross over because he didn't know what he was going to face, when he got over there. And I'm thinking, I'm seeing a jacket, a blue jean jacket for some reason, like an old Levi's 70s jacket. I don't know why, but he's okay, But like I said, it was hard. He had to kind of sit there and let everything settle down from the trauma of what happened. I lost my husband to violence, and when you lose somebody in a violent way like that, they're in shock. They don't exactly know what happened. It happened so fast. And it takes that energy a little while to calm down and to regroup and then go on to their next, their next round, if you want to put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, when you lose somebody like that, quick like that, they don't know what happened. They have no clue. It happened so fast, they didn't know what was going on.
Definitely. Carlito came back on, the one from earlier, and he said, let me see what he said here. What did he say here? That I think it was his dad was in the hospital and wanted to know if the hospital was the one that killed him. He didn't say why he was in or anything like that. He just wants to know.
We could always find that to be true, but I don't think it is. I don't think they, I know he wants to be mad at somebody for losing his father. I completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was the hospital's fault. If it was, it wasn't intentional. I think his time was he was just ready to go. He's a kind of young man, too.
Yeah.
I say young. 60s is young to me. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would agree. Yep. Huh. And he said, so is he okay? Carlito wants to know, is his dad okay?
Was his father a fisherman? I'm seeing my grandpa with a plaid flannel shirt on, and that usually means a fisherman.
Okay. Let me see what he says here. I'm just waiting for the answer.
You got to remember, down the bayou, we eat everything we can get from the water, the mud, the air. We don't care where it comes
Oh
from.
my gosh. Huh. Still waiting for the answer. I apologize. They're just.
Do y'all even have lakes up there? Do y'all fish?
We do. Yeah, we have rivers and lakes here. I fish for sport, for fun.
Right.
I don't really eat what I catch most of the time. I mean, I'm not the most.
Depends on what you catch.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I tear up some catfish.
Oh God, I don't like catfish.
Yeah, buddy.
It's too gamey for me.
We have ponds. We grow our own catfish around here.
Oh wow.
Well, I like gator too. I went down to Lafayette and did a fireworks tent down there, and man, boudin and alligator tail was my fave. So.
So you can have it all, darling. I want nothing to do with it. I'm probably the only Cajun that doesn't like boudin.
Well, the boudin was a little strange, but the alligator was awesome. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, it gets a little chewy. You know, you got to chew it through and through, but it's good tasting.
That's right. That's right. But that boudin was a little
in the restaurant business for 40 years, so I can cook just about anything you bring to me.
Carlita, I'm going to answer you over the air here. He didn't hear what you had said, but you said, I'm going to paraphrase, I'll just paraphrase real quick. Gayle said that your dad wasn't killed by the hospital, and he was just his time to go, unfortunately, and that he's doing okay.
Yeah.
So another one was, so their dad passed away a couple years ago. Is he okay? She always fills him with around her.
Well, she was Daddy's baby.
Oh.
She was Daddy's girl, and yeah, he watches over her. He still thinks of her in a little pink dress at about 8 or 9 years old. I don't know if it was Easter or if it was going to church or something, but he was so proud of her. She went through a mess, and she came out on the other end just shining and shining. So he's definitely proud of her.
Excellent. And one of our viewers says our catfish is pretty white meat and not fishy tasting at all. So I could probably give that a try, because the catfish around here, I've tried it around here, and it's just like, I can't do it. Just can't do it. I'll eat shrimp all day and lobster, but I can't do catfish.
There's a trick to that. 30-pound shrimp the other day. My dad caught some, and he had some extra, so we had a shrimp peeling party and fried them up. You talk about nothing better than frying outside, just kicking back, enjoying life. You know, we Cajuns down here, we really appreciate how well we have it. You know, we all take care of each other. We all get together. Something happens, and nobody says anything but, what can I do to help? And that's, and even in the paranormal sense, that's what we all do as a family. When somebody comes to us, what can we do to help?
Definitely. Definitely.
It makes it worth doing.
I agree.
That's what we need to be seeing everywhere right about now. Everything's just so crazy in this world.
It is. Unfortunately,
right.
It
is. Yeah, I want to go back to the 50s. Start all over.
Yeah. I don't know about the 50s. I'm not that old, unfortunately.
I was kind of thinking that I don't think I want to go back that far.
Yeah.
I like the 80s. The 80s was awesome.
Yeah, you're right. I was a 70s kid more than the 80s, so I was born in the 60s, but the Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin crew,
there you go.
in the late 70s.
I do like
That's
that. Right. Couple of follow-up questions. Carlita said he wants to know, his dad spoke Spanish in on Earth. Does he speak English in the afterlife?
He doesn't have to. I mean, he doesn't have to. He can if he needs to, but I think he speaks more broken English than, I think Spanish is his first language.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, again, it's like us Cajuns down here. We speak English, but we all know a few Cajun words. This man probably spoke Spanish, but knew a few English words.
So, what's a good Cajun word to learn for us Midwestern people up here?
Roogaroo.
What was that again? I missed that.
you're talking about critters. We have the Rougarou down
Oh, the
here,
Rougarou.
which is
Yeah,
our
okay.
version of a werewolf.
Okay, I do know that. I just missed it. I must have talked over you. Oh, the Rougarou. Yeah, I do heard that before. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, we're heavy into the cryptic side of things. We also our first love probably is paranormal, but we've dabbled into Bigfooting, to UFOs, to everything. We do it all, pretty much. We do conspiracy theories. We do it all.
Yeah, I got started with Legend of Boggy Creek. Is how I got into all the cryptid stuff when I was a kid.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely no Boggy Creek. That's for sure. Very
now,
good.
Speaking of Boggy Creek, though, we'll go a little bit of that. What do you take of that? Do you think that skunk ape is down there? Do you believe it's a true cryptid, or?
I want to believe that, absolutely. We have the Honey Island swamp monster down here, which is probably just a different class of the same animal, Right. He lives in the swamp, he stinks, and I really want to believe that we're not the only ones here,
No, not even.
I want to believe it, but I'd be scared to death. I'm the biggest chicken paranormal investigator you will ever meet. I'm scared of my own shadow.
Oh my gosh! And you've been to Waverly and Trans-Looney? I said you've been to.
Sorry,
I said, oh, you're fine. I said, and you've gone to Waverly and Trans-Looney. What's it called? Trans-Looney Allegation. I can't say the word. Allegheny. You've been to those, and you're the biggest chicken paranormal investigator.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I just wear an extra Depends.
See, Dan, that's the secret. We need to start wearing Depends, apparently. No, I'm not going to do
that.
I'm not going to do that.
I've always been that way. I'm fascinated, and I'm scared to death at the same time. So it covers all the bases with me,
And there's nothing wrong with that. We're human by nature, and I think it's the curiosity of the unknown that really keeps us going in this field. I mean, I've seen some crazy things that I probably should have never seen in my lifetime, but yet we've experienced it, and it's just like things are out there.
If you wouldn't have seen it yourself, you wouldn't believe it happened.
That's true. That's absolutely
Very true.
Yep. Let's see what else we got here. There's a couple of people popping up with some questions. The one about the dress, Easter dress. She did say, let me see what she said here. I saw it and I glanced over. I meant to tell you that. She said, "Oh, she's so sweet." Talking about you, Gayle. She said, "I've been waiting to hear this." She said, "I'm crying because it was Easter." She said. She said, "Thank you, Gayle. Such a blessing."
Oh, that's fine. Oh, I'm just a big fluff ball. I can't help it. I try to come off as mean, but I'm not. I'm so glad I could give you some peace, sweetheart. I mean, that's what it's all about,
Mm-hmm. Let me see. There's one more question. Said if I'm trying to read it real quick here. They're asking, should I move or hold on to Russell? Please help me, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, Lord,
Do you know who Russell is?
I don't know enough to say anything one way or the other, but I think she's already figured out that leaving is probably what she's going to do.
Gotcha.
By the time you ask me, it sounds like you've already, had that discussion with yourself.
Mm-hmm. So is Russell the spirit that she's encountering, or is
I think it's the ex-husband. I thought it was human.
I can't tell. It's very.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I just thought that he was a physical person.
I gotcha. I'll see if they respond.
That's why I thought I don't have enough background to give her an educated thought on that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, "Oh yeah, so and so, go on down the road." I mean, you could screw somebody's life up real quick doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and then they'll hold you accountable. Yeah, you definitely don't want that. She said he is still alive. So
yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
Shut up, Gayle. He's a jerk.
And that's the hard part, recognizing the sign. I mean, that obviously if you're questioning it, there's something there that tells you.
Exactly. Something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
She said, I wonder if I must hold on to him.
If you got to hang on, that means he's trying to slip through your hands to start with. Let him go.
Fair enough.
You don't have to hang on to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's no way to live.
No, definitely not healthy, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Huh. Wow. So going back to just your paranormal like history and stuff like that, what's the scariest thing you've ever seen? Or maybe you haven't. I mean, you said everything's scary to you, so what's something that
yeah,
you're
I'm walking outside. No, the scariest paranormal experience I ever had, I was 16 years old, and I had to do an exorcism.
at 16?
At 16 years old. My roommate in college, back in, this was the late 70s, oh yeah, I got a demon bothering me. I'm going to go deal with this, blah, blah, blah. And so she sits over on a beanbag chair under the window. Nobody says anything. About an hour later, it was time to get up and go. I guess we were going to class, wherever we were going. And I said, wake up, wake up. Well, I went to shake her, and when I did, she wrapped her arm around my arm and turned her head up and looked at me, and it was not my friend anymore. There was a different persona behind that face. I didn't know what to do. All I started doing was saying Our Father over and over again. And finally, after I don't know how long, she threw her head back and screamed what was not a human scream. There were 4 of us in the room. My friend that was possessed, me, and 2 other roommates. The other 2 roommates, one peed all over my bed. The other one got up and ran out. Finally, she, whatever it was, broke free, and she just went limp. And when we got her back to functioning, and she's like, I could hear you, I could see this thing, but it would not let me cross back over. It let her cross over into the blackness, but it would not let her come back to the light. And basically what I had to do was go down there and get her and bring her back. And that's when I realized this is not a joke. This is serious, and this can happen to anybody that goes down there looking for the wrong thing.
Wow. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, if you go looking for something, you're more likely you're going to find
You're
it.
Find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be paranormal related, or whether it be going to a bad part of town or whatever, if you find
Exactly.
trouble's going to find you. So yeah, you got to be careful. Like I
Yeah,
said, I know
if you look hard enough.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I know they glorify it on TV, and everybody wants to be the next, big star. But I mean, a lot of
Not
us,
about that,
right? I mean, a lot of us have been doing this for quite a while now. I mean, for us, it's been over, I think, 15 years for us, and for me personally, I'm not sure about Dan. I mean, we added Dan to the team about 5 years ago, I think, Dan, something like that.
Yeah,
So,
pretty close to that. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I know yourself, Gail, you've been doing this for many years, so you just got you got to be careful. Like I said.
I'm 60, right at 60, and I've been the exorcism was the first major thing. I mean, we all used to do the, slumber parties, light as a feather, and one thing I never would do, though, even as a kid, I would not mess with a Ouija board. I don't know what it was, but I would not get around one for some reason. A lot of people say, oh, I use them. That's up to you. It's just something that I didn't want to do because I didn't want to open up those doors as a young child and not be able to handle what came through.
Right, or even after, possibly even closing them afterwards. Some people don't. That's the biggest mistake people make. They don't know how to properly end a session such as that, and we equate even not necessarily with just a Ouija board. I mean, all the stuff we use in today's society as far as technology goes, with the SB7, spirit box, the whatever else you use, whether it be a pendulum, that's the same thing. It's just a different type of a Ouija board. In essence, you're asking for something to come through. You may get what you asked for, but you may get something you didn't expect to encounter. So you got to be careful on that too. I mean, everything's touch and go.
I look at that like sticking $100 bill on your antenna and driving through Crackville. You don't know what's going to come out. They see that, they comment. They want part of it, and it's just not something. I mean, a lot of people use them. They use them well. They know what they're doing. That's great. That's your thing, But to these people that think that, oh, it's going to be cool, we're going to do this and do that, and you don't realize what you're letting loose on this earth.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you take that chance every time you willingly call something out, whether it be you're trying to reach, dear old grandma, or it may not be dear old grandma coming through, it may be somebody impersonating her, it may be something else.
Absolutely.
So you also told me off air you get a lot of critters down there, or other than the Rugaruga. What's some other things, that you've seen around down in Louisiana? Do you see a lot of different creatures, or is it mostly spirits because of the voodoo?
Mostly spirits down here. Now, when I was a kid, 7, 8, somewhere around there, I lived in an area of town where we had the Silk Lady. And the story goes that she was waiting for her husband or fiance to come back from the Civil War, and he didn't come back, and she still rides looking for him. And I saw, like I said, I was a kid, I saw this blue light go past my window one night, and I asked my mama the next day, I said, well, I saw this. She says, oh, baby, that's a Silk Lady, just draw the shades. But it's this one road in this little bitty town that everybody sees her, and thinking that she's riding through, waiting on her beloved to come back. But as far as critters, we don't really have, the Rougarou pretty much takes care of everything. He's the one that your parents warned you about when don't go out in that swamp, the Rougarou going to get you, And that's the only real, we've got real live we got 14-foot alligators down here. We don't need to make up anything. That's for sure.
That is very true. Yes, you do. Yeah. I think that scared me more than the actual ghost,
It should.
As a gator. you got some big ones down there. Yep, that's for sure.
It absolutely, and like these people, I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but these guys that go noodling.
Oh, God, that's crazy.
You don't do that down here. You will come back with a nub.
Right. Oh, my God.
Like snapping turtles and all kind of stuff down there.
Yeah, those people that do that are insane. Yeah.
Brother, I gotta agree with you.
I'm not guilty of that ever. not for years, anyway. Not for years.
I'm not scared of the water. I'm scared of what's in it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep, I agree. Yep. That's why I don't like the ocean that well. It's too deep and too unexplored, undiscovered, and you don't ever know what's below you.
No, if it doesn't have concrete on the bottom, I'm not swimming in it.
Exactly.
Oh, good call.
So
now, walking the streets of like New Orleans.
I'm sorry, where's that?
I say walking the streets of New Orleans.
No, it's called Nolans. Say it right, Nolans.
So walking through there, the spirits that you see, of course, that city there is thousands of years old. How active is that? Personally walking through the streets, what do you see?
It's amazing. It's amazing. You can run into things that are 200 years old or things that are 2,000 years old. Going in the clubs, you look up and you see there's this one club. There's this guy that's always on the loft, and he was like dressed in 20s attire, with the slick back hair and everything. And
right.
It's just, you never know, So, of course, we got a Vamps down here. They love the New Orleans area.
Yeah.
They wear their little fangs and they're having a ball, but they're not hurting anybody. That's one thing about us down here. If you're not hurting old folks, little kids, or animals, we don't care what you do. That's what's so great about being down here. Just don't hurt nobody.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I've been down again. You can talk to Leo. I like to venture out. I've been to multiple states just to play with the paranormal and see what I can see and feel. And of course, I've been down to Lafayette and Rain, Louisiana was a nice little town.
The frog capital of the world.
Exactly, the frog capital. Yes. Yeah, the people down there. I mean, Louisianans are so welcoming. They loved me and my wife, and we had a good time down there. And we was down there for 10 days selling fireworks, and we never paid for one bite of food.
Wow.
I mean, everybody fed us.
Southern hospitality.
The first question they ask you, you eat yet?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
All the fried chicken and boudin I wanted.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was down in Houma last weekend. We had a case down there, and my favorite food on earth is a soft shell crab. And I enjoyed myself. The hospitality, down here we've never met a stranger, and we want to think that if my child was in a position of needing help, that somebody would help them, and that's why we make sure that anybody I ran into a kid yesterday, broke my heart. He was sitting out in front of a store, just sitting there. I don't know what was going on, and I went inside and I got a couple of cheese, chicken, taquitos, or whatever was on the thing, and I brought them to you. And that kid got tears in his eyes over. You never know when you have a chance to help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's what we do down here. We try to make sure we help somebody, and we like I said, we don't meet strangers. We all bleed red. We're all one color, and it's just a fantastic place to be fortunate enough to live in.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The history down there is just remarkable, and man, just a visit down there is just, I mean, it's
magical.
Mind blowing. Yeah, it is.
It's magical. And then when you get out of the city proper, the city's beautiful, but when you get down the river parishes and you get down by all the big plantations and everything, it's like time just stands still,
I've been to 2 plantations down there. Of course, one of them everybody knows is the Myrtles. I had to go just to see what I felt, and of course it gives you everything that you expect. So much energy there. More energy than what most people portray, and of course, the children that perish there, and the house mother that perished there. But there's so much more energy out there than that,
Oh, yeah.
Just, yeah.
Well, the Myrtles was actually an Indian burial ground, and they would take and hang when the settlers or whatever, when they fought with the natives, they would take and hang them in the trees just as a preventative for other people to come and try to attack them. Mm-hmm. And there's that part you don't hear a whole lot about. You hear about Chloe, and like I said, you hear about the children, and Mr. Winters who died on the 17th step, and all this stuff. But there's so much more backstory before that place was even built there that people don't know about. But it's still underlying, and it's bubbling up to the surface. It's a lot. Like you said, it's a lot more than the marketing tells you about.
Definitely.
Well. And that's another thing when I was out there too. Speaking of the hanging the settlers from the trees, we woke up, and when we were staying over in rain, we went out and we looked at a couple of cemeteries that were above ground just to check them out. And you see the moss hanging from the trees, but at times, if your peripheral vision, it almost appears that there's actually people hanging from the trees in the moss. So I didn't know if that's something that was weird. Okay. So.
Yeah. You picked up on it. You did good.
Yeah. It's some crazy stuff down there. But the 10-mile bridge, driving that 10-mile bridge, that's another so much energy right there.
Oh, that's the little bridge. You're talking about the Atchafalaya?
Yeah. Over by Baton Rouge.
Yeah. That's the baby bridge. We have one over here closer to New Orleans that's 24 miles long that covers Lake Pontchartrain.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dear.
That's the big bridge. The Atchafalaya Basin, it's just, I know I use the word magical a lot, but that's what it is to me. You just have all this energy, and you're in the middle of nowhere. You're on this bridge. There's nothing to be seen anywhere but trees and water, and it's just so peaceful.
Well, and they say they've had I guess large groups of I guess mist or fog, and they would see troops of Civil War soldiers moving forward.
In the
along
mist.
I wouldn't doubt it. I've never experienced it, but I wouldn't doubt it, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, neat place down there.
It is. It's one of a kind. Like I said, I've traveled the country and then some, and I always come back home.
Yeah, I wish 2020 would end on a peaceful note so I can get down there and see some things.
Oh, yeah, they're finally letting it open up a little bit now. We can go through our drive-through daiquiri shops again. So things are getting better.
Good.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't drink, but that's just the latest joke, you know? Yeah, the daiquiri shops are open. Bingo will be back in play next week. We'll be in good shape.
Bingo. Yep. Exactly. Some of the famous places you've been to, we talked about earlier, Waverly and stuff like that. Did you experience anything that? Did you experience anything, and is it the same stuff that everybody else has been experiencing, especially like Waverly with the little children, you know, on the one wing, the nurse on the other floor, and just?
Too.
Did you happen to see the same individuals, or did you have different experiences?
I didn't. It was really kind of odd. The only place I really felt anything was down in the body chute.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think what I felt was more the energy of the people that just live there, that it was their home.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have they have this one big balcony outside, this terrace. I could have laid down there and went to sleep. It was just so peaceful. But other people, like, you know, and then again, you're going to find what you're looking for. I wasn't going in there looking to find evil critters, you know. I just wanted to go to see what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was just very peaceful. You know, Salem's like that to me. I go to Salem in Boston as often as I can. And it's just this peaceful thing that I feel more so than the scary stuff, you know. But
right.
Then again, I'm not looking for evil when I go down there. If I got to deal with it, I deal with it. But I don't go looking for it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and I can see why. I don't know if Salem should be scary or not. I know people give it that connotation because everybody thinks witches are evil, and that's not true at all. I mean, and a lot of those people weren't even witches as it was. They were just blamed as witches.
You know, it just breaks my heart that they did this to people just to get their land. That's mostly what I've gotten from, you know, my studies in it. They picked people that couldn't really defend themselves, and they had something that the other people wanted, and they took it. It's not the haunting to me in Salem. It's the history that I enjoy.
Yes, I love history. That's kind of why I enjoy the paranormal. Bless you. The paranormal side of things, because you're talking to history, possibly somebody from any year, you know, there'd be yesterday to the 1800s or 1700s, whatever, you know, and it's just amazing to me. Plus, we get to see the different structures that nobody else gets to see, like, you know, the behind the scenes of things, and it's just amazing, some of the stuff we uncover or even encounter.
That was one reason I started doing investigations in my teens, is because I wanted to get in those big houses, and that was my end, you know? And just, I went into one, I swear I had been there before, you know, just only one in all the ones I've seen. There was only one. We pulled in the driveway, and I described the inside of the house before we got in there, and everybody went, oh, here we go, you know?
Right.
It's just something, I don't know. Crazy life down here in the bayou.
I could just imagine. Like I said, one of these days I'll make my trip down there. I don't know, sooner than later. Hopefully once COVID lifts, we can make a trip down there and visit the sites and, you know, just some of the places, what it has to offer.
Just soak it up. You know, you can just walk downtown and just soak everything up, and you're looking at 300-400-year-old, you know, energies floating around.
Definitely. Have you, we talked about earlier, Madame Laveau, have you ever encountered her spirit anywhere? Or if so, what kind of interaction did you have with her?
No, I never have. I have gone and laid a trinket down, at her
Sure.
grave,
Right.
but I've never had a personal experience with her. I know some people do, but I'm not trained that much, or I don't know enough about that to want to disturb her
Sure.
for something.
Right. Well, and a lot of it goes with, if you're there, what's your intentions? Are you there to, for good or evil kind of thinking? So I think your intentions were probably positive. So maybe the interaction wasn't there for that reason. But if you have, I don't know, if you have a darker heart maybe or something, maybe that's when she comes
Oh,
out, and either curses you or, whatever. Yeah.
well, if you go in with the wrong intention, you're going to get it shoved back on you,
Yeah.
Whatever you put out there, it's coming right back to you. So if you're putting evil out and you're putting meanness out, that's what you're going to get back.
Definitely tenfold. Yep, I agree with that. Yep.
Me, I'm just an old tree hugger. I love everybody, and it makes my life that much easier.
Man, simple times, right?
Hey, yeah, you're right.
So you said you live kind of out in the country. Do you see anything unusual out there as far as like the spirits? Are they the same type of spirits you would see maybe in some of the locations like the in town, or is it a different type of, or maybe none?
Well, it would be one or two places I've seen, but more like like farmers, like old men with the overalls on, and just people doing stuff like that. But I don't really see a whole lot out here in the country. But then again, I don't go looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Very good. That makes sense. Yeah. Once again, if you look for it, you'll find it possibly.
You
So.
don't find it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very, very good.
So, Gayle, do you ever have you say you don't go looking for it, but do you ever have spirits that come to you to look for an answer or to make contact with somebody around you?
Yeah. That's pretty much what I do. They come to me and tell me, like somebody asks a question, how's my mother, or whatever. I close my eyes, just like earlier when I said, oh yeah, I see a little pink vase, that gives me something to tell the person on this side of the veil that they can validate and know that there's no way I could have known this if their loved one hadn't told me.
Okay. You're good.
It's just, it was horrible. I mean, it's not horrible. I shouldn't say that. But there's been times one of my friends and I would go out to lunch and I wind up doing a reading on the surfer. You never know when it's going to pop up,
Sure. Yeah.
Do you use things like a spirit guide, or do you just use like your own intuition?
Yeah, it just I never, unless somebody comes to me asking me to try to contact one of their loved ones or something, I don't go out and do it. But if my job is to be the messenger and a message comes through, it's my obligation, to tell that family member that their loved one is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. This is going to sound like a a hacky kind of question, but I mean, just from my own personal experience, and I know Dan has his own personal experience with things. How did you know you had a connection to the other side? I mean, aside from seeing them and talking with them, when you classify yourself as a psychic, how did you know? What's something maybe you predicted, or you had an encounter with that kind of surprised you?
My grandma, again, she raised me and taught me everything. And one of the first things I remember was every day in the morning and in the evening, you would hear the front door open and close. I'd say, Mama, who is it? Oh, baby, that's just Casper. He's not going to hurt you. That's how I was inducted, if you will, into the paranormal field as a child. So I never had that fear. But even as a kid, oh, yeah, she's the weird one. She knows stuff that's going to happen, It's just, I was just born into it, really. And my grandmother taught me not to be afraid of it and how to deal with it and to make sure you do things to help people, It was just, I was just raised up in it.
Yeah, that's amazing, especially down south like that they embrace it more. Because in some areas, it's considered taboo. Like, we're in the Bible Belt section up here,
Yeah.
So yeah, some people don't want to talk about it, discuss it, or afraid to even question anything that maybe because their faith tells them otherwise. But
Right.
yeah, it's good to see down south that their people actually embrace it a little bit more. Because I mean,
It's real,
it is.
and it's our way of helping people, and that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought. Sorry. uh, I had a
You're not
follow.
old enough to be doing that. That's my department.
I'm old enough. I'm pretty old. I just hide it well. It's my immaturity level that shows. No, I'm kidding.
Nothing wrong with that.
You got to stay young at heart, right?
Yeah, you're right. Some days 19, some days 91. It just depends.
That's right. Sometimes it's a flip of the coin. Yep, definitely. I know my body says one thing, but the mind always says it stays young.
I know what you're talking about.
So, have you ever predicted something like I don't want to. I'm trying not to be so hacky, but it's just it's mostly for our viewers. Just anything that's like a natural disaster. Like I can't say you predicted Katrina, but could you sense something that was changing the atmosphere, maybe, or just the vibrations in the ground, or something that made you trigger something like that?
Yeah, sort of. I remember. I think it was Ivan was the last one that I said was going to come by, and it flooded my little hometown.
Oh wow!
Is Ivan or Ike the one? I can't remember. It was after Katrina because I was living in Tennessee at the time. But mine is mostly to do with people.
Okay.
More than with weather. I'm sure if I concentrated on it, or if I need to know it, my guide will tell me and I'll go from there. But I don't want to predict the future.
Yeah.
That's not my job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know.
I don't want to tell somebody something and then it not be right and I ruin somebody's life.
That's true. Yep. Yeah, and I think people have a misconception about psychics, or people that are psychic and mediums and that nature. They think they can. Well, then, if you're such a psychic, why can't you go win the lottery? That's not how it works. It's
where are the numbers exactly?
It's always the thing, And they'd be like, "Well, how'd you know? You should have known I was coming over to your house or something, of that nature." It's not how it works all the time. It's more.
And then my grandma again, the phone would ring and she'd say, "Who is that?" I don't know. I haven't answered the phone yet. By the time I got to the phone, I already figured out who was calling. She was something.
One of the viewers said Isaac.
Yeah, that's one of
Isaac. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was I something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. Well, now we have, in this day and age, we have caller ID, so you can definitely predict who's calling before. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
We're all psychic.
Before cell phones and portable cordless phones, we still had one attached to the wall back then.
Oh, wow. It wasn't rotary, was it?
Rotary dial, yes indeed.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember. I did too. I said I'm old enough to remember those too, because those are the worst. You start dialing, you get about 3 numbers in, and you make a mistake, and you have to start all over.
Craziness.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen some things change in our lifetime, that's for sure.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I tell you what, I thought the party line was a magical thing back in the day. Where you can listen in between the little dial tones and talk to people. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was spoiled. I had my own line. We didn't have to share one.
Right?
Yep. Oh, goodness.
Oh, rotten.
Yeah. So do you feel that, going back, I know I was going to say with the follow-up question to the psychic, do you feel that everybody has those tendencies? It's just some people are more in depth or in tune with those abilities?
I believe so, yeah. I believe it's something in our makeup, but some people are just more drawn to it than others, and like you're talking about, people's faith tells them it's not real or whatever. That's your choice,
right.
But I lost my train of thought.
Oh, so it's contagious. It's not just me. That's good to know.
No, it's not just you. Trust me. But
yeah, no, I guess. Like I said, that's kind of the same beliefs I've always carried on, and I always tell people, everybody has that tendency. It's just whether, some people can use that ability is another thing. But there's also when I always premise something, you know, as far as the paranormal goes or whatever we're talking about, it's like I always start off with saying, I'm not here to tell you that ghosts are real or aren't. I'm just telling you what I've experienced and seen and documented over the years. And I've seen some things, like I told you, you know, some things I never thought I would see in my lifetime and experience. And
Absolutely.
so be it. You know, believe what you want to believe, but this is what I have to
Right,
offer.
that's your choice. You know, that's that free will that we have.
Yep.
You can choose to believe it. You can choose to not believe it. But don't, and this is with anything, don't try to shove something down somebody's throat that they're not interested in.
Right.
You know, not everybody wants to talk to dead people. And you shouldn't have to if you don't want to, you know?
Yep. And then you got people like Dan and I who enjoy it a lot, so
I love it.
We love talking to dead people. Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just like to give them a voice, you know, and
Very
exactly.
good.
You know, they want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they don't, but you know.
Those are the ones that have usually done something they don't want it to come to light.
Right.
Right.
We all have those skeletons in our closet, so hopefully in the afterlife I don't blab too much, because oh my god.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
So this is going to be once again a hairball kind of a hacky question. So do you have any vision? Cause I mean, I have a vision and stuff too. I mean, that's how I see things. I see things as a picture, you know, a color or whatever, vibration. How do you feel about things like Jimmy Hoffa, where nobody can find this guy? You know, is he buried in a giant stadium? Is he buried in Michigan somewhere? Is he in concrete somewhere?
I think they dumped him in the water, actually.
Yeah.
That was a big deal when I was a kid. I remember when all that went down, and for some reason I saw him dumping him off the back of a boat.
Makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's possible. He was up in Michigan, and I think was one of the last times somebody saw him, if I remember right. And I mean, you got a lot of lake around there, a lot of lakes up there.
Yeah.
So
that's just what my thought on the subject. I don't think they'll ever find him.
Yeah, no, not at this point. Yeah. Have you ever used your abilities to help, like, law enforcement? Have they ever come to you for anything? And if so, like, have you helped with any crimes or anything like that?
Yeah, but nothing I can talk about.
That's fine. Understandable. Yeah. I was just curious because we talked to quite a few psychics on the show, and a lot of them get into the law, you know, the enforcement side of things, and have helped, you know, people for closure, that's the most important thing. I think the crime is, you know, bad enough as it is, but I think just the closure itself is what people really want.
You got that right. You know, just let them know that it's all done and over with, and they don't have to be scared anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's trying times, and the last thing you need to know is leaving something unopened or, you know, opened with no end result.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's another thing my grandma always taught me. She said, I would rather know and have a definite answer than to always be wondering what happened.
Exactly.
And I think that's a comfort that we give, you know, when we help a family.
Mm-hmm.
They know that, you know, they may not be here, but they're not being tortured. They're not being, you know, hurt. They're safe in the arms of their God or whomever they, you know, whoever they go to when they pass.
Definitely. Man, yeah.
Well, talking about speaking and helping law enforcement, you ever helped Mr. Steven Seagal down there? Yeah.
No, never met the man.
Never
met him. He's a character. He had his little show going on for some time down here, but I do mostly local, you know.
Sure,
yeah.
Yep.
I'm not looking for that autograph. I'm cool.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, have you met any famous people, whether it be in the paranormal field or just celebrities in general, and have they asked for your advice?
Yeah. I was in the music scene down here for a long time. When I was a kid, I used to run light shows and stuff like that. And I had a couple of them would always take me over to the back room and put the table out and say, what am I going to do? You know, and stuff like that. But again, it's not anything that I publicly broadcast because they come to me in, you know, in what am I trying to say? Not incognito, but they come to me not wanting the
confidentially.
whole world to know, what's going on. It's personal to them. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I respect that. I was just trying to think of something to. it jumped in my head. I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been in the same bar room as Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
Oh wow.
That was the epitome for me. That was it. I didn't have to breathe another breath in my life. I was done.
That's amazing.
But in New Orleans, you never know. You could be walking past somebody and you don't recognize them, and it could be somebody that you wanted to meet all your life.
Exactly.
Because we don't aggravate people down here.
Yeah.
You just let them go, Come on down, have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. And they're everywhere. I mean, they live here in the middle of Kansas too. People don't expect to see celebrities here. They might be your next door neighbor just because you don't know that. I mean, they're there. Yep. So
that's it.
And they're
they deserve that privacy too. When you live your life in a spotlight like that, you want to have some time where you don't have to worry about having the right shoes on and do I look right or all that silly stuff. Come on down here and just relax for a little while.
Exactly.
So is there a place or like a location you would never been to that's like on your bucket list that you'd like to go to?
Oh yeah, Rose Hall in Jamaica.
That would be cool, actually. Is that the Johnny Cash one?
Yeah.
Okay, I was want to make sure. I can't remember if that was what it was called or not, so I want to double check. Yeah, his home down there, and it's.
Yeah, he lived in a guest house on the property. The house is still open. I say it's still open. I don't know, for tours and stuff. But they left everything when he died. They didn't even move his. I'm talking about shoes again for some reason. Somebody must want to know something about some shoes. But it was. They even left his shoes in the doorway.
Yeah.
Like he had just come in and taken his shoes off. And it's just some place I'd like that. I'd love to go to Ireland and Scotland for a little while, Loftus Hall and all those big places over there. We don't have that here. I mean, New Orleans is old for the United States, but we're nothing compared to some of the other places on the planet.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree with you. There's some good places out there and there's some places that are not even famous yet that need to be discovered, and I think there's some I'd love to go visit someday. But yeah, definitely I'd like to go to a castle, like Dracula's castle, Romania or something like that, or all the castles in, Scotland to England to Ireland, all those up and down the coast. There's just so many beautiful places out there that...
Oh, unreal. My family's from that way. I guess I'm just drawn to that area for some reason. Just pretty. I love greenery.
Yeah, I've been to 2 castles over in Denmark. That was pretty fascinating, but that's as best as I've been so far.
Wow.
Oh, well, that's something pretty big,
I was going to say, it's more than me.
It was, yeah. It was beautiful.
Wow. Very cool. Yeah, like I said, the first I've been out of country is Canada, and that was Vancouver, and that's basically USA almost.
Yeah, just cross the bridge, huh?
Uh-huh. Yep. Definitely.
Well, I've been to Niagara Falls, but I've never been on the Canadian side.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
You know where I went that was super cool was the Mayo Clinic. They have a building that is set up just like the Brothers Mayo had when it was their offices in the hospital. And they have diplomas. There are like 3,000 diplomas hanging in this hall.
Wow.
And Edinburgh here, 1604, just all this history in that one room. I just sat there for like 2 hours just soaking it up. And it was just, the energy was unbelievable. Someplace you wouldn't really think of as being, where you'd want to go investigate, but it was just awesome.
Wow.
Well, the amount of people that's been through there and...
Right.
Yeah. So much energy.
Definitely.
It was amazing.
Wow.
I did that one, and then I did the Liberty in Boston. It's a hotel now, but it used to be the first Boston jail, and that place had some kind of energy in it. It was just so cool. Thinking of places that you wouldn't normally think, would be impressive, or the ones that will surprise you the most.
Definitely. I was gonna say because my old belief used to be, this is back before I was still early on investigating. I always thought that a cemetery shouldn't be haunted or morgue shouldn't be haunted because that's not a place where somebody died. It's kind of a final resting place or a transition place. But I became a believer once I went down to a area down in northeast Oklahoma, and our viewers know this place. We talk about it all the time. It's called Tahlequah, and it's an old Indian cemetery. And I had my name called there, and I'm like, wow, it surprised me that.
Oh, give me chills. Yeah, somebody knew you were there.
Yeah, and I've never been to this place ever until that first time. I've been back since then, many times, of course. But it's just the fact that I was like, well, and I was getting audible responses on my call and response, and yeah, I was like, well, maybe it's possible. Cemetery, everything's haunted. I mean,
Yeah.
from new to old.
But I'm like you. I think that's a way station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cemeteries, morgues, because once our energy leaves that shell, that's all that's left is just a shell.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think, speaking on that energy, do you think it's possible that, I know there's been many photographs and stuff like that when people, when an accident happens and that person's unfortunately become deceased, you see this bright light. You think that's their energy is leaving the body at that point, or do you have any kind of opinion on that?
I would think, if you can prove that it's not photoshopped, I believe that's what it is. I think it's just the energy lifting up.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a white flash or something. I'm not real good with looking at a picture and automatically seeing something. That's just not part of what I do.
Sure.
But there have been one or two that I was like, oh, yeah, there's something there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you got to be so careful today because people are wanting their 15 minutes of fame and they just want to throw everything,
Right.
It's hard to trust anybody with that kind of stuff.
Definitely. And that's one thing.
You guys hearing that? What did you guys hear that on the well, there's a little girl talking just now when you were talking, Gayle. I don't know who she was.
I didn't hear that either.
There's a little girl talking.
Huh. No, I did not hear that. That's interesting.
White patent leather shoes. I remember I said something about shoes.
Oh, yeah, she did say that like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Huh. Some little girl with white patent leather shoes. I don't think she's connected to me.
I wonder who she connected to.
I wonder who she was for. Oh, now I'll be worried about her all night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of our psychic friends has told me that one of my spirit guides is a little girl. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but
really,
but it's not on this end. I don't feel anything on this end.
But I heard her talking.
Yeah, and I didn't hear it through my side, so it definitely must be on your side, Dan, in the room with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was for you, buddy. That wasn't anything to do with me.
Okay. Well, I know what in Belvedere, so we're good there.
Belvedere. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to think what else we can ask you. I don't want to... I was hoping some more viewers would chime in, but they've kind of just watching intently, listening. So, Dan, do you have any questions, Dan?
Oh, no. That was just a little freaky on the little girl's side. So,
what is your thoughts? Like, I think it's kind of common, not common knowledge, but kind of thought to be that with little children and stuff in general. I've seen all kinds of different research on it where there's people that believe that little children's ghosts don't exist. I've even seen that to an extent. I don't believe that, but I've encountered numerous children's ghosts. But there's people that say that they don't exist in that form at all. But I've also seen, people think the demonic have the little children. They appear as a child because, they're more approachable, I guess, as a spirit.
I've seen children's spirits. I know that they can be there. And the whole place is hooked up on this demonology these days. Everything's a demon. Not everything. I've seen 3 demons in my life in 50 years, and I know exactly when you see one, you will know it. It's not a question.
Exactly.
Everybody thinks that, oh, well, yeah, this is a demon and that's a demon. No. And trust me, you don't want to see one and you don't want to have to deal with it.
Right.
It's not fun.
Exactly.
People don't get that, you know?
Yep.
I've only ever encountered one time where I've seen something that was truly dark. Everything else has been spirits of common. I mean, one time truly dark. I mean, far as demon wise.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it beyond a shadow of a doubt, you know? I mean, if you're a grumpy old man on this side of the veil and you switch over, you're going to still be a grumpy old man, but you're not going to be a demon.
Yep. That's exactly what I say, too. Almost word for word. I've said that same thing a million times.
Great minds.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. No, and I even in history, you go back, there's not a lot of demonic haunting. I mean, now contrary to popular belief, I know the shows put it out there. There's certain shows that week in and week out say that they've been possessed by a demon or whatever. We won't go. Yeah. We won't name names, but I mean, it's entertainment, like I said earlier. But I mean, I think I've encountered maybe one or two also over the course of my investigative career, and even the ones that I saw weren't the darker ones. It was just I mean, it was because there's different levels to demons. Yeah.
Demons.
Yeah. Maybe they're minions or whatever you want to call them. I mean, but you got your darker spirits. You got your your malevolent ones. You got your your elementals. There's different things, different. And everybody is just, and then you got, just like you said, your grumpy old people. If they're a terrible person in life, they'll be probably a terrible person in the afterlife, possibly. So, I mean, just because they push you, scare you, and jump out at you doesn't mean they're it's demonic.
Right.
They're just a terrible person, maybe. I don't know. So.
A pain in the butt on this side, you're gonna be a pain in the butt on the other side.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is your take on, do you think that everybody, once somebody passes away, that we all have like a waiting transition period, that's when we do the most haunting as individuals, or do you feel like, because I mean there's people that are just here forever, as far as the spirit goes. We've encountered them for years and they're going to be here after us possibly, but what about the people that, like a close loved one that was here, you're able to contact with them shortly, and next thing you know, you can't hear them or see them or feel them anymore? Is there a transitional period?
I think a lot of it is what the person who is deceased believes. Because my grandfather's never come back to me, but he didn't believe that.
Oh.
You know, he didn't. He figured when you died, you went to heaven and you went to hell. There was no coming back. But there's my grandmother who taught me everything I know, and she came back to me to let me know that she was all right and that it really was real. And I was 30-ish when it happened, and until then, even with all the things that I have done in my life with this stuff, I still wasn't 100% sure. But when she came back to me and she told me exactly what she said she was going to tell me, I believed it, and it changed my whole view of the paranormal field. It really is real.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to read some of the things here. It says, one of our viewers says, I have a special needs daughter, and I have been told that spirits come to her for help, but she cannot help them.
They're watching over her. I don't think they're coming for help. I think they're just mostly making sure she's okay. Because she talks to them. The daughter talks to the energies, but they're not there for anything other than to kind of watch over her. I really think one of them is a family member, like the mama's aunt or somebody like that keeps popping in to make sure the little girl's okay.
Let's see if there's any kind of response on that. Nothing yet. Yeah, I mean, I always agree with that too, because you always hear about, children living always, encounter spirits. Sometimes, not always, but they have easier time encountering spirits. I always attribute to blank slates because they haven't seen the world yet, haven't experienced it yet, and yeah, I think. But it always makes you wonder how many times have they said, I have a, imaginary friend. Is it truly an imaginary friend, or was it, the real thing?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Never had any little imaginary friends other than the two kids that I saw on the old plantation property. But that doesn't mean they're not there just because I didn't see them.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts as far as I've read, once again, I research nonstop. I mean, I'm always researching. I love gaining
Mhm.
knowledge and different perspectives on things. Because, like I said, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'm open to everything. Nothing I believe in or my way is the final say all. Be all kind of a thing. Uh, as far as dreams go, do you believe when we see a loved one or somebody we know is deceased in our dream? Uh, is it them? Is it their way of communicating with us in the afterlife? From the afterlife, should I say? There's a two-part question to that. That's the first part. What are your thoughts on that? And then I'll ask the second question.
It depends on whether you're just reliving a memory in a dream, or are they bringing you a message. There's two different, again, there's two different things to that. You might be just dreaming about Christmas one year,
Mm-hmm.
but then you might have somebody sitting across from you at a table talking to you. That to me is a one-on-one visitation, as instead of just revisiting the memory itself, you're actually visiting with the energy.
Gotcha. I agree with that. I mean, I've always thought that maybe it's just reliving a memory, or like you said, maybe it's sometimes they do have messages for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a residual versus an intelligent haunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different sides of a coin.
Definitely. And then the second follow-up question to that is, what about the people that come into our dreams that we've never met in our lifetime, as far as we know, that we can remember, that just show up one day, whether it be a love interest or something, anything off the wall that you're like, wow, where'd that come from? I've seen different things where people said that somebody we've encountered in our past life, or maybe from another time. But I've also seen, I think this was more of a comical joke. They said that's the people that are watching over you at night, the spirits that are past that are actually watching you right now, kind of thing, which was kind of funny to me.
Craziness.
So, what do you think about somebody we've never seen before that pops up in our
Well,
dream?
it's funny because I have a lady when I was younger that I had the same dream over and over and over again. That's when I said somebody sitting across from me was exactly what I was thinking about. I would dream I'm thinking it was in Paris because we were outside at an outdoor cafe, and this woman was dressed in a soft pink suit with the little Jackie O pillbox hat on, and she would talk to me. And this went on for years, and I don't know who she was. I never did find out who she was. I don't know if she was somebody helping me to hone my skills, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't see her anymore. But there's no reason I would ever have saw this woman in my life, but yet she came to me and we would sit there and talk. And I really believe that was a visitation from somebody that was helping guide me. So I completely believe that's true.
Very good, very good. A follow up to the woman who reached out to us about the special needs disabled person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not disabled, special needs. I'm sorry. Uh, she said what you had said makes sense because she has a camera in her room, and at night it gets orbs and stuff, and she reacts to them in the pitch black room. So the child is reacting to these things that are shown up on camera. And she also said,
Feeling the energy, yeah.
yeah, definitely. And she said that that person I think you said an aunt maybe or relative. She said that person may be her deceased mother because she was very close to her.
That's who I was thinking. Somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that would be the little girl's aunt. That would make sense. No, I'm sorry, that'd be the grandmother.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, strong female identity.
And that's good to know. I mean, that kind of probably hopefully puts her at ease because she's being watched upon, like kind of like a guardian
right.
angel.
It's nothing to be scared of. That's
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Definitely. Very good. Yeah, I love all the questions tonight on the chat lines. It's been very, very fun and informative, and I'm sure the viewers that are asking them are getting some kind of answer, hopefully, some kind of closure, or some kind of insight to what they're experiencing. So. Definitely.
You just want to help people. That's what it's all about. We all have different ways of helping people, and some of us just do it this way. We were meant to be like this. We do what we do, and we don't question it. We just go forth and do, whatever it is need to do. And
yep. definitely.
Well, real quick,
go ahead.
I got a question. So we're talking about dreams a while ago. I had one the other night, actually about 4 nights ago, that's kind of been driving me crazy. So, all right. So I'm in my dream, and my grandfather, who passed 16 years ago, walks up to me, and an individual, supposedly a friend of mine. I don't know the guy, but he asked me to come back behind his garage, which of course is the house has been out of the family for 15 years now, and mend the fence. I had to fix this fence. So when I go back there and I'm pushing the fence together, the top rail of the fence is made out of rose quartz. It's cracked in the middle, and I got to mend the fence back together at the top, and he's trying to tell me how to fix. He wants me to fix this fence. All right, what's going on there? I don't know what that is.
So you are going to be a conduit to fixing somebody else's life. There's something it's something that it's mending fences. You're going to help somebody mend a fence, or either you're going to mend a fence with somebody that you may have issues with right now.
Okay. Well, that's kind of sort of what I thought, but yeah, I got to figure out who that is now. I don't know the guy that I was with. All right.
That's the fun part. It's who is it I'm supposed to be helping, you know?
Right. Well, the rose quartz is what threw me off kind of weird, because it's kind of why is the fence rail rose quartz? Weird.
It's energy. It's,
right.
It holds so much energy. That's an odd one there. You threw me for a loop, but I think that's what it means, is that, you should be ready to help whomever it is to mend that fence. I want to say it's a younger person with an older person, like a son and a father, or a granddaughter and a grandmother, that kind of connection.
Okay. All right. Something I ordered?
One of our viewers, a good buddy of ours named Carl from Dodge City, wants to know, is Dodge City a crossover point?
Where's Dodge City?
Where's Dodge City? It's here in Kansas. It's part of the Old West. It's
Dodge City.
Dodge City, yeah. Sorry.
It's just got so much energy there, It could be a jumping off point, I would think, because there's so much went on back then that hasn't been settled,
Mm-hmm.
People shooting each other and dragging each other behind horses and stuff. I guess I'm not real familiar with, I know the Bayou. I don't know the West all that well, but I believe it's, like New Orleans, it's just a place that has a lot of residual energy in it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, that's a good question, Carl. Thank you for asking. What else we got here? Let's see here. We got about 20 minutes left in the show, so any more questions, keep them coming on the chat line. We'll try to get all your answers for you. Well, go ahead, Dan.
Gayle, real quick, one of our buddies, again, hung out with Leo and everybody down in Tahlequah. He's real big on ley lines. Do you see a power in the ley line system? And yeah.
I want to. I think I do in certain ways. I think it's just like a magnetic cage wrapped around the earth, and it's the ley lines are the conduits. But some places you have such a strong energy, and then they start looking into it, and say, "Oh, it's a ley line." On the other hand, ley lines were invented by man.
Right.
It's just a name for something. So, are we just saying because this guy said this is here that it's really there? Or is it just something that happens, as far as energies, earth energies, where they pop out? I mean, just like a volcano or anything like that. You're going to have massive energy in certain places because the middle of the earth is bubbling. And it's got to come out somewhere, I don't know that it goes in specific lines like trails, across. I don't know that, but I would like to think that I can feel energy, when I go somewhere. Is that a ley line, or is that just a pocket of energy?
Sure. Okay.
Could be the same thing,
Yeah.
one thing I was going to ask too, and made me think about speaking of ley lines, because I see that as kind of like a source of, because when you connect a ley line, it usually connects a lot of places that are haunted, the most haunted, or whatever, have similar haunts, kind of a thing, we'll say. So my question, not based upon ley lines so much, is I've been in a house before where this place had mirrors on every room had a mirror, and do you feel that's kind of a way for a spirit to bounce back and forth from room to room so quickly? I know some they can just probably walk through the walls, but it seems like when we would go into one room, the next room over would start to become active immediately. Like we were chasing it room to room, and then all of a sudden it was downstairs, and we went downstairs, and same thing was occurring. Do you feel like it's like kind of like a doorway?
It can be if somebody has opened a portal in there, and invited something like that to come through a mirror. But I don't know if it just automatically happens or not.
Sure. Because we've also seen in locations where, once again, using a mirror, kind of like you can kind of start to see things appear next to you, maybe behind you, and we've used it for like not so much scrying, but like just kind of a way to communicate.
Concentration kind of thing.
Yep. So I didn't know, because I have my own opinions on that too, and I agree with that too. It just depends. Not every mirror is going to have a ghost pop up,
Right.
and it kind of gives into the whole, yes, Bloody Mary is just or Candyman, whatever you want to call it, whatever version you want to call it, is just a made up kind of like a game in a way. But if you truly start to focus on that, yes, you'll start to see things come through.
Just like a Ouija board, it's all in how you use it,
Definitely. Carol, she says, I don't believe it does. I agree with her. Can you kind of explain what that, I'm not sure if she's talking about. Which part of it?
I don't know which part we're talking about.
I'll see if she answers back.
Yeah. Old age setting in.
Yep. So, before it's all said and done, and when your time is here done on Earth, what's something you hope to accomplish by using your gifts or, helping another?
That's a good question. I just want to be able to let people know that their loved ones are okay. Because that's the big question. Once we cross over, are we okay? Are we not okay? What is really over there? Is there something we can do to prepare to get over there? There's certain things we need to do. I want to be able to come back and let people know that it really does exist. The other side does exist. I don't know how I'll pull it off. I'm sure I'll think of something, though.
One thing it's kind of weird. We didn't plan it this way. It happened. One of our teammates had lost their wife to a serious illness, and one of our teammates was talking with her, and she was part of the teams that we ran with, that we do, and she made a promise to us that she'll try to do her best to communicate with us. She knew she was, her final days, and it lo and behold, to our amazement, she has communicated to us at different locations for different reasons. I mean, it's mind-blowing that it's kind of like a confirmation almost of, there is life afterwards. They can contact us. Now, can we 100% say it was her? No, of course not. But just judging by her vocal tone and how her delivery of what she was saying to us, it made us feel like it was definitely when we were talking with her. And it gave, our teammate, it made him feel sad, of course, but, at the same token, it made him feel happy because, she lived up to her promise, and she knew how important it was to us to be able to communicate with her.
But that was what my grandmother did for me. She said, "Baby, if it's real, I will come back and let you know." And she did. And that's when you go, "Oh, wow, this is really real, okay?" Mm-hmm. But, she was sick. Bless her heart.
Yeah, it just something, we never saw coming, the sickness, and then when she made the conscious decision to move forward. That's the strongest person I ever met. Yes, it wasn't the easiest decision.
She didn't want to be a burden to anybody.
That's kind of what she said. Yeah, exactly. She felt she was,
Yeah.
letting our teammate not live life and, continue to explore with, as much with, investigate with us. And she said, it's my time. And she was young. She was too young, unfortunately. And, but, yeah, but hopefully she still can, communicate with us as she wants to freely. We don't actively call her out.
Now this is crazy. No, so am I. But why am I seeing bubble bath? It seems like a smelly good kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I can relate it to something. The disease that she had, it was a rare disease, and she lost the ability to eat and also to even walk. Well, she went to the Mayo Clinic, and they got her to walk again, which was amazing because there's a video.
We just talked about Mayo Clinic.
That's why earlier when you said that, it kind of like, wow, that's crazy. But she was able to walk again, and she came back, to Kansas and was walking and was taking a shower and fell, and after that, that's when everything went back to I can't walk anymore and just lost the will to live, basically. So I don't know if that ties in the bubble bath kind of thing, the water, the shower kind of thing.
The girly girl stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what I think that might have been a little jab, let you know, yeah, she's listening.
Oh yeah.
Because we keep our sense of humor once we go. My grandma was the greatest for that. If I didn't do something right, I would hear, huh, in the middle of the head, nobody else around, like, you're picking the wrong thing. I don't want broccoli, I want zucchini. It's like he's always there with me,
Yep.
But it's not always doom and gloom when they come back to talk to us or come back to let us know they're okay. I think that's what she tried to keep a sense of humor to keep everybody else's morale and morals, morale up.
Mm-hmm.
While she was going through this, she was still worried about everybody else.
Definitely.
True.
Let's see, we got another couple things coming through here, the chat line here. One of our viewers, the one who talked about the special needs child, she said the day her mother died, she was at home and she heard her calling. I'm going to read it in her voice. She said, the day my mother died, I was at home and I heard her calling me at 2 p.m. I did not know it at the time, the same time that the hospital was calling my sister to let her know that she had a turn for the worst. But no one called me, but my mother did in her own way.
Well, she wanted her to know. And
yeah.
She wanted her to know it was her choice, too.
Mm-hmm.
That she was just ready to go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you hear about that all the time. I mean, we all have, I feel like, and I think we probably mentioned it, or if not, maybe we touched base briefly upon it, but everybody has that ability they all have intuition. Some people are more in tune, like I said, with it. Some people aren't. They don't know how to use it. They don't realize that's what they have. And sometimes you get that feeling, that odd, whatever, like something's bad's about to happen or whatever, something good's going to happen, and maybe it does. But I think in this case, this is a similar situation where at 2 p.m., that voice she heard was her mom, and like you said, telling her, my time has come, kind of a thing.
Yeah, she felt it. She felt it go through her. She felt her mother's energy go through her.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot. And my best friend, I lost her a couple of years ago, and she was a nurse, and she said she would know at times when one of her patients had gone past.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that you feel when you get that close to somebody.
Right, you get that strong connection. Yep, definitely. The energies kind of unite, and they can communicate with us in any way, shape, or form. Definitely.
Exactly. And a lot of times, like when my grandmother was ready to go, we kept seeing her stare off and out of the window, and
mm-hmm.
Mama, is Papa here for you? And she just looked at me and she stared right back at that door, and 12 hours later she was gone. He came to get her. And
mm-hmm.
that happens a lot,
mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked to some nurses we've work with closely, and they said the same thing too. They work on a lot of them work in the hospice unit, and they say
mm-hmm.
she'll come in there and to an empty room, just her and the one of them will say something like, you get these kids to be quiet? They keep running up and down the hallway. And she's like, there's no kids running up and down the hallway because this is a hospice wing, and whatnot, so we have to keep it kind of subdued. Or, she'll walk into a room and they're like, do you see all these people here? And then she'll be looking around like, there's nobody here but you and I, kind of a thing. And same thing, they know it's their loved ones possibly welcoming them. It's okay to move on or whatever,
Well, that's what I told my grandmother that day. I said, Mama, if you're ready to go, go. And we got a call a few hours later. She was worried about me. She just wanted to make sure I was going to be okay because she was my world. And just for her to do that, and let me know she was going to be all right, and football came to get her, well, that made everything a whole lot easier to take. I knew she was okay over there on that side.
Wow. Very powerful. One viewer here, the one from earlier, the Carlito, that was asking about his dad and everything, but now his wife got on, and she had a question. She said, hello earlier, Carlito, she said, who is my husband, I'm his wife, but she said, I told my husband about you all, and he wants to know if he has a past loved one who wants to tell him anything.
Rosa. Who's Rosa?
Rosa?
Yeah, like the dark-haired, I guess Spanish, Latino, whatever looking woman. I don't know who it is, if it was like his grandmother or his mother or godmother, an older female figure. She just wants him to know he's going to be all right. He thinks about things that he doesn't let anybody know. He doesn't want to worry anybody. But she wants him to know he's going to be okay. Just got to believe. You got to believe it's going to be okay. I don't know exactly what he's going through, but it's something he's concerned about.
Mm-hmm. I think he's the one that also lives in Peoria, Arizona, had the strong interaction that things are tormenting him, and I think sounds like he has a lot of personal things that are weighing heavy on him right now, and that's possibly why he's having such a hard time with things right now, and that's why the paranormal interaction is so strong right now, just because when we lower our defenses, we get weakened a little bit and things move in, kind of, whether it be good or bad or just whatever. If we're stressed,
you got to keep that energy level right, or things can sneak in, whether you want them to or not, and then you got to deal with that before you can get back to the first problem at hand.
She said, "Wow, thank you." Yes, it is Rosa. It is her.
I didn't mean to laugh. I just love it when stuff like that. I freak myself out sometimes. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I mean, that's why we do this thing. No, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yep. Most important thing, people, I mean, like I said, stick to your convictions, stay strong in any situation, and, if you show any kind of signs of weakness, sometimes they'll pounce on you, but you got to make sure you stay in control of your life, and that's just everyday thing, whether it be spirits or just life itself,
Absolutely.
Stay strong, definitely. Wow, this has been a fun conversation. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. Is there any viewers, anybody, Dan, you have any more questions or anything you want to ask? Or sorry, I keep putting you on the spot.
No, you're good. I mean, there's 100 questions I can ask.
Always.
But a lot of them are personal, so I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I get it.
Yep. Hit me up on Facebook.
I will do that for sure, yeah.
Definitely.
No problem.
And
I want to thank you guys so much. This has been so fun, and hopefully we helped a few people. That's the main thing, We can sit here and laugh and cut up, but if we helped one person, then it was all worth it.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Agreed,
yes.
Definitely. And like I said, we'll definitely, if Gayle's welcome back on, anytime she wants to come back on, we'll definitely have her back in the future, and we'll let her get some rest for now, that way she can, because it's not easy, to talk to spirits and whatnot, it drains you people. I mean, it does what it does, so.
Yeah. Yep, I'll be crawling under the covers here shortly. It's so nice out here. I think I'm going to sleep with the windows open tonight.
Oh,
Enjoy
God.
living in the country.
I'm so jealous. She told me it was about 70 degrees.
Country living.
Yeah, 70 degrees down there.
Can I do anything else for you tonight?
For us or the viewer? Who'd you
Yeah.
say? Oh,
You said we had a couple of minutes. I just wanted to say thank you so much
gotcha.
for having me and letting me tell you a little bit about what I do, and hopefully we help a couple of people in the whole, in the whole scheme of things. That's what it's about.
Definitely. Yeah, we appreciate it. I know our viewers appreciate it. And so, like I said, we'll definitely get Gayle back with us. And like I said, I want to say thank you last minute for filling in. We were supposed to have a friend of Gayle's, Janice, on the phone or on the podcast, and unfortunately, she had something she had to attend to right now. But Janice will come back on eventually, and we can have both of them on at the same time. So at some point too. So we just appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you standing
Sounds good to me.
in. Well, thank you very much, Gayle. I look forward to talking to you again. And if you need anything from us, you know to reach us at, just hit us up and we'll hit you up on Facebook and whatnot. And we'll definitely stay in touch with you.
All right, my friends. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you very much.
Time to go walk the puppy dog. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I loved it.
All
Good
right.
luck, guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Gayle.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome. Yeah, once again, viewers at home, that was Gayle Fontenot down from Louisiana. I love it. She was kind enough to join us tonight on, like I said, be a guest at last minute, and we can't ask for, a better guest. She was amazing tonight, and she definitely had a lot of insight to things, and I think she helped quite a few viewers, it sounded like, too, with questions they had and whatnot. I'm trying to move myself out of Dan's way. Sorry, Dan. But
oh, you're good.
We just appreciate. It's fun. Oops, I got rid of myself. I appreciate individuals like this that in this field what we do, the paranormal field. It's not always easy to find people that we put a stamp on because like she said, there's people out there trying to make a name for themselves at any cost, and unfortunately they'll do what they have to in order to do that. But when we find friends like this that are good networking people that we'll stay in touch with over the years, it's amazing to have them. So, yes, to the viewers at home, yes, we do this every Sunday night, 7 to 9 Central Standard Time. We're on Cryptic Heartland. We do it live on Facebook. We do it live on YouTube, live on Twitch. So, any of the formats. We also sometimes go live with investigations. So, you definitely want to turn notifications on. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly, and we'll try to hit your questions up online here. We also do just not only necessarily paranormal, we do everything. We do everything from Bigfooting to UFOs to we do conspiracy theories. Like next week, speaking of, we're going to have a special guest or two on the show. We're going to be talking about one of the biggest conspiracy theories because it's the next weekend is the 22nd. It's the anniversary of JFK's assassination down in Dallas, and we have our buddy who's making a return appearance, Mr. Josh Hurd, will be coming back to discuss JFK conspiracy and other things too. So we'll have some good times with him, and might have a couple other two guests on the show with us. So that night. So once again, that's next weekend, 7 to 9 Central Standard Time, and hopefully some of the guys that are missing tonight will be back next week. I know a couple of them are battling some sickness right now. So we hope that we want to wish everybody who's whether it be sick with COVID or just sick in general or, just not feeling well, take care of yourselves. That's all we can say, these are trying times. 2020 has been such an adventure for all of us, and, just take care of yourselves. That's all we can say. So, but
I'll be out in quarantine hopefully by next weekend so I could be in shop with you, but we'll see what happens.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and if you have any people who are saying they need help, definitely reach out to us. Instant message us on Cryptic Heartland, and we'll definitely... If we can't get to you because you're quite a ways away from us, we're based out of Wichita, Kansas, in the middle of the country. We know we have a strong network of friends over the United States and elsewhere that can reach out to you and help you out. We'll put you in good hands, capable hands, so definitely. So if you have any questions, you need help, let us know. We'll definitely take care of you the best that we can. So.
We do actually got some paranormal family out in Arizona, too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. So,
so
right away. So, definitely, if you have any questions to the viewer that said they needed help, message us, and we'll definitely get you in capable hands. So, but, definitely. Thank you all to the viewers tonight for joining us. Like I said, this has been Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode 124, with special guest Gayle Fontenot from down in Louisiana. She's a psychic medium. Like I said, if you have any questions for her, I'm sure she'll definitely, if you reach out to her on Facebook, she'll definitely help you out too. Or get in touch with us and I can get questions to her for you. So we'll definitely help you out. So, Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. We'll be back next weekend, November 22nd, from 7 to 9 on Central Standard Time for another episode of Cryptic Heartland Podcast. For myself, I'm Leo, Dan the man in the middle.
I'm Dan. How you doing?
So we'll be in touch next week, guys. So tune in. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.